Oh wait, I also bought the Outer Worlds. I forgot I bought that.
Did you ever finish
Is it good?
I haven't even started.
Good.
Joey, just like me then. I haven't. I only installed it.
Yeah, I haven't even installed it yet.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us here on a brand new steaming hot edition of Cup of Joe's. It's been a while. I keep saying that every time we have a new episode, but it's for some reason always true. I am Joe Brown. I'm your host, joined by my best friend Joe Perrion, and we are the two hosts of the Cup of Joe's podcast. And we have a special friend coming on today to discuss a lot of things happening in the gaming world, and our friend Dennis, who is not my brother by blood, but he is my brother by ideals and sacred bonds. Dennis, my brother, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Joe. That was a lot of big words I don't know the meaning of.
You also really had to throw the brother thing in there in the beginning, didn't you? But for you listeners who weren't with us before we started, Joe was telling me how Joe and Dennis are fraternity brothers when we went to college, and he kept telling me before we started that they're brothers, and it was great. Now the podcast is no longer Cup of Joe's. It's two brothers, and one of them isn't me. Joe Perry.
That's not, but that's not as catchy of a title. So I think we'll have to come up with something else for it.
We'll have to fucking figure that one out.
All right, so Dennis, we brought Dennis on because we're going to talk about some different gaming news things, including obviously the PlayStation 5 reveal and all the games it showed, and the actual hardware of the console, and we'll talk about our favorites and things we didn't like about that presentation. And the other thing that Dennis and I are going to have a good discussion on is Teamfight Tactics actually had last week a mid-set expansion where they changed a lot of champions. They got rid of a bunch of them and added more champions and changed the traits and classes and things. So Dennis and I actually play a lot of TFT. I've actually been streaming a lot of Teamfight Tactics over at twitch.tv/Zemanon, if you want to give that a follow, a little plug for myself. And Dennis was actually streaming with me the other day, trying to coach me into Diamond. We got really close. We got to Plat 1 43 LP. So, a couple of
I failed you, Joe Brown.
No, I failed myself. that was because I didn't drop out. I didn't drop down to Plat 2 until after you went to bed. So I have nobody to blame but myself. I'm responsible for my own actions.
Oh yeah, Dennis. I was telling Joe Brown, I was like, Joe Brown, tell me when you're done getting coached by Dennis, so we can hang out and chat or something. He's like, okay, I'll tell you. And then he never texted me. And then I texted him, I was like, why did you never tell me that you were ready to hang out? And he was like, it's because I didn't stop. It didn't stop until 2:00 in the morning. And you went to bed. And I was like, why did you give me the idea that was going to happen? So I didn't get my hopes up.
Well, we didn't know it was going to take that long to try to get me to Diamond, okay? We thought, because the first couple games, I think it was like a Rebel GP game, and then it was something else.
The first game was a straight up first.
Yeah.
It was an undeniable high roll first.
Yeah.
And I was like,
amazing.
oh my God, Joe's going to pass me on the ladder. And then it just went all downhill from there.
Then I tried to force Star Guardians, and it all went downhill. Although I did actually get a first in one of the Star Guardian games, so I was proud of that. And then we had that super hype 3-star Kale moment. Remember?
True.
Yeah. Def happened. I saw it.
Yeah. fun
anyway,
times.
Perfect transition. Talk to us about this lovely game that you guys have been playing, Teamfight Tactics. That's been through Riot, through their League of Legends, kind of their original concept of League of Legends. They take all their champions, and it's kind of like what is it? Automated chess, right?
Yeah, auto chess.
Yeah. So is my favorite champ in it? Is Malzahar one of the people you could play?
He was in set 2.
Yeah, not in this
He was
set.
in there in set 2.
So not anymore. So you're telling me my hopes and dreams of playing as Malzahar is over?
Well, I'm telling you that for this moment, because they changed the champion pool each set, and each set is revolved around different ideas and kind of design strategies and whatever. But I can also tell you that I think less of you that Malzahar is your favorite champion.
Why?
Because I hated Malzahar in set 2. Oh my god, he was.
Well, I used to melt face with him in League. Like I would just do my down the key combo QWER, and I would just like destroy middle lane champs. And I would like help my team go forward.
I think his point and click ulti is just stupid. I hate those kind of ultimates.
Well, it's only towards one character.
Yeah, but like if you're spell based, like, well, looks like I'm just gonna die. I mean, granted, which is the point.
Yeah. I don't know.
You can like Malzahar. I'm just joking. But yeah, he's not in the set.
Cassiopeia, so.
Well, they just added Cassiopeia, so let's talk about that. So, Dennis, you're in Diamond in TFT, and I'm in Plat, obviously trying to climb over that hurdle, and so I can play games with you and Vince and be cool. But with the set, what about our other brothers, Vince? He also plays with us.
No, I know, but you're already cool, Joe Brown.
Yeah, you are cool. We could technically play together. I just don't like playing with other people because if I get last, then I lose a lot of LP.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense because you have like my LPs in your lobby or whatever. So that makes sense. Well, just don't be like Vincent. I played like 6 or 7 games with Vince one day, and he literally just played Space Jam the whole day, and he got a couple of firsts and a lot of 7s and 8s. But like, I guess that's
all he plays. Even now, that's all he plays.
What is Space
Jam? So Space Jam, there's a lot of fun names for some of the different synergies. There is a synergy called Space Pirates, where if a space pirate kills an enemy unit, they have a 50% chance of dropping 1 gold to add to your economy. And Darius is a space pirate, and he has his Darius Dunk as his ult in TFT, so that's where you get Space Jam from, because he's constantly dunking, and it's Space Pirates.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's a lot of fun nicknames like that, like so all the Star Guardian skins, like Ari and Syndra and Poppy and everybody like that, since they're all girls in the set, at least, like I know there's like Star Guardian Ezreal or whatever, but in the TFT set they're all girls, so they call that the nickname for that is E-Girls.
Yes, I am aware.
But there's an even better one that revolves around Yasuo and Master Yi, and they're called Bang Bros.
Which is what? What exactly?
They're just two sword boys going at it. That's why they're the Bang Bros.
Okay.
We're just trying to let you know all this high tech information, Joe, about TFT.
Okay, yeah, I'm here for it.
All right, so Dennis, let's talk about the 3.5 set 3.5 expansion that just went live last week. Obviously, they took out 9 champions. They added 14 champions. They added different traits like Battle Cast. They added a 5 cost with a unique ability in Paragon with Janna. So what are your overall opinions or early thoughts on the 3.5 expansion?
So I personally am a big fan of 3.5 as of right now, even though I believe the Thresh interaction with Urgot is 1,000,000% broken. Because come on, you pull in an Urgot and he instantly kills someone on the other team like that. Yeah. That's just, there's no counterplay to it unless you can somehow kill Thresh. But what I've been seeing so far from a bunch of streams that I watch is that there's a lot of different meta things that work. In previous iterations of TFT, like set 1, Void Sin, absolutely broken. Like if you don't get it, you're never getting first. Set 2, there was different metas like some Sin, which is summoners and assassins. Put a bunch of bodies on board.
That's Joe's friend Malzahar.
Yeah, Malzahar was a part of it. And then it phased over to Inferno Shadow, where it was the funniest thing if you put like a Bomby Cinder on Singed and the floor just turned into lava and everyone just died.
Singed was so busted.
Yeah,
Set 2, man.
Set 2 was stupid because it was either Ocean Mage or Bust. Set 3, there was a lot of different things. But at the end of set 3, it was mostly Cybers, Mech Infiltrators, and a couple of Dark Stars.
And
here and
Brawler
there. Those are like
Blaster. Brawler Blaster's pretty popular.
Brawler Blast is just straight up solid. Like it's got good front line, it's got good damage. It's a very, like, if I had to like equate it to something, it's a very safe comp.
Sure. Yeah.
But so far in 3.5, there's Vanguard Mystic, there's Cybers still up there, and Rebels is still good too. And snipers, Astro Snipers with my boy Timo. It's
God.
That's right. Timo made his debut finally in TF2.
Yeah, he's not as cancerous as like the actual Summoner's Rift, but he's a fun unit.
He's a
And
little.
he
He
floats.
He's
He
got
floats.
some.
It's great.
He's got some toxicity in there. He's not cancer, but he's
He's not plopping down invisible mushrooms every 5 seconds.
No, he still is.
No, he is. But he's not as bad. I will agree. I think he's a lot more fun.
Yeah. He was always fun if you were playing with him or on the team with him. He was not fun when you played against him.
Sure, right? Because he'd be
That's
super
the whole
annoying. Yeah. So I think for me, I kind of with set 3.5, some of the champions, I think they kind of warped the game, and this is obviously just my opinion, but counterplay has somewhat gone out of the window with some of these champions, like 3-star Zed with rapid fire cannon to just take away all your carries attacks or AD. Things like Urgot, where Urgot's ultimate, he grabs you with a chain and draws you into his stomach, and even if you have Guardian Angel, which is supposed to let you come back after you die, Urgot breaks through the Guardian Angel, so your item is actually useless, so there's no counterplay to that. I can't remember. I think it goes through QSS. Does Urgot go through Trap Claw also?
No, Trap Claw actually gets stunned. It stuns Urgot.
Okay, so I guess Trap Claw's a strong counterplay to that, but like especially rapid fire cannon Urgot in the backline protected by like 4 people, it's really not fun because this game is like, how can your carries beat your opponent's carries most of the time? And if Urgot just happens to eat your carry and you could not control it at all, it's like really unfun. I think some things like Cassiopeia, like if you run those Vanguard Mystic front lines or Celestial, like to keep your team super healthy and make the fight last really long, she can get pretty toxic with literally by poisoning everybody on the opposing team. So I think they, like, in my opinion, introduced some pretty degenerate strategies that have very difficult counterplay against, and then they took out some things that were really consistent, like Kale, for example. Like, I'd argue Kale was probably the most consistent 4-cost in the game, like that you could...
she's the best unit in the game.
Yeah.
Hands down. She was the best unit.
Right. So like you added a whole bunch of jank and then detracted something that people could use to fight against the jank. So that was like pretty frustrating for me. And it seems like Battlecast isn't too strong at the moment. I worry for the meta where Battlecast does become strong, because it seems like if it ever does get broken, it will be a big problem, especially since some of the big Battlecasts like Cassiopeia and Urgot and stuff might be good. But overall, I still find myself really using the previous builds from set 3, like Brawler Blaster and Star Guardian stuff, and only just dabbling in the new champions instead of trying to build around the new champions. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I 100% get what you mean.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been doing it too. I've just been taking the old set units that I know what they can do and like the limits of what they can do, and kind of just like take some of these new units and sprinkle them in. It has brought back a different meta. I feel like set 3 was more physical damage based. Now, don't get me wrong, it's still mostly physical damage based in this set as well. but you can sprinkle in more spells. Like that's why you see a lot of 6 sorcerers and like a GP, or like a 6 sorc and a Riven, or my personal favorite 6 sorc, mech, and GP.
Ooh. How do you
Can never get a first with it though.
Is that how do you get like is that a level 9 comp?
Yeah, it is a level 9 comp.
Okay.
Because Annie counts as the mech and sorcerer.
Right.
So she's like one of the more pivotal units in that.
Yeah, the one unit I've really missed that I didn't think about I was going to miss too much was Kaisa. Like not having Kaisa and not having the demo spat, which is a good thing because demolitionist is a busted trait. But like I now feel it when I build mech pilot, or like when I had infiltrators or something. Like Kaisa, I guess I just like all 3 Valkyries because Misfortune was the other Valkyrie and I used her all the time too. So I guess maybe I'm just a little bummed out that they took away one of my favorite one of my favorite compositions or traits. But like I will give the Riot team credit with their item balancing. I think is significantly better at the start of 3.5, where they changed Seraphs into blue buff, and now it's a unique item, so you don't have the problem of like somebody trying to stack Seraphs onto one unit, like on Ziggs or Sona or something.
Mana printer go brr.
Right, and rest in peace, Sona. You will not be missed. But she was so busted. Also, Joe, Sona was the 3rd member of the Bang Bros composition, so I think you can understand why they called it that now.
Definitely. Yeah, that makes more sense.
Right, more context gives it more understanding. So I like.
Gee, great. I'm sorry. It's very much clicking now. Hanging out. Gee.
Yeah, so like some of the, as we quickly move on from there, some of the changes like with Warmogs giving just the flat 1,000 health. I like what they've done where they're changing the items and they're just not keeping everything the same just because it's already implemented. So I appreciate that about the game, and I hope one day we can get to a point where all items are unique, because I really don't like the item stacking meta, because once, like, I don't know how you feel, Dennis, but like I feel like how this game's meta turns out is once an item becomes really good, you then have to build multiple of that item on the same carry. Like, remember when like double Giant Slayer was really good, double Infinity Edge, which they changed now, so now it is unique, but you used to have to stack multiple Infinity Edges on your carry, like double Seraphs, triple Chalice. Like, I think this game would be much better off if items were unique, so you can still build 5 blue buffs if you want, but you actually have to be strategic about it and spread them around your different champions. Like, what do you think of that?
No, I agree. Like I remember the days of when you stack Aurelia with 2 IEs and a Last Whisper, and then she just dashes around your entire team, and you're just like, huh? Where did my team go?
Yeah.
But I do agree with more unique items. Obviously, I believe that there are some outliers that it's okay to stack multiple of. Like, if you stack 2 Rage Blades, like, that's perfectly fine. There's still Giant Slayer stacking in this set so far.
Yeah.
I do like the changes that they did with Giant Slayer, where it's not a dead item in Magic-based comps. Now the Giant Slayer bonus procs with spells, which is a huge change for people that prefer to run those e-girls comps, or anything sorcerer based.
It used to end your run if you were running Star Guardian and got a Giant Slayer. It used to be like, well, like none of my spellcasters use auto attacks. Like, so that's...
No, it looks like I'm going 8th.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Totally. See, this is the insight Joe wanted to add to our coaching session.
I thought it would have been hilarious.
It's working so far, I think.
Hey, sometimes the memes turn out to be good things, like my meme Space Parent Rebel Chrono comp that got me 5 first places in a row.
There you go.
There you go, Joseph.
That's the innovation. That's what I was actually going to ask you. since Joe and I, you might not, because you're modest, you don't think you're playing at a high level in Diamond, but compared to Joe and I, we think you're, very high up and very knowledgeable at the game. What would be some tips? Because I have some friends who like I've been playing normals with them because we're not like close enough in rank, and they're trying to get better at the game. So what are some tips that you could have for newer players or improving players that will either help them, get more top fours, or is it all about econ? Is it all about item priority? Like, what helps you improve in TFT?
Okay. I would say the first thing is watch people that are better than you. So, like, it's true. Like, a lot of these, like, high elo streamers that are on Twitch that stream TFT, they talk through their thought process, like saying, oh, like, I'm building this because I think this will give me a better chance at like not finishing last, because obviously no one wants to finish last. Everybody wants to win, but sometimes like you get unlucky, right? So first I would just watch people that are really good and just try to absorb all the info that you learn from them. And a side effect is like sometimes you may talk like them, because I say Keck W a lot now.
You do. I noticed that.
A lot of these streamers say Keck W all the time.
What does that mean?
It's basically LOL.
Yeah, it's like one of those emotes on Twitch.
Yeah. So I learned a lot from streamers like Kyun Soju, even though he's a flake POS. Kurum X. I used to watch a lot of Skara.
Kurum's my favorite, 100%. I watch Kurum all the time.
Kurum is what's always on my TV when I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
Just because he just got a brand new haircut. He's looking beautiful.
He is looking fresh.
Oh my God.
Kurum's looking real clean with that haircut.
That's my brother, man. He's half Korean.
Oh,
I'm not any Korean.
Oh, well, there you go. There you go.
We got so many people becoming brothers in this episode. I love it.
Except for Joe.
Yes.
Nah, Joe's my brother.
No, me, Joe.
Joe, you're my brother.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
I never had a brother before.
We're all family on this earth. So
getting deep.
I never get this deep in like my normal conversations. But like I said, a lot of high elo streamers. I guess in far of gameplay in itself, econ is king for sure. Definitely, you have two types of econ. You have money econ and health econ. You can play it two ways. You can play your strongest board and preserve your health for later games, because the way the game progresses, the later you are in the game, the more damage you will take. So sometimes it's okay to sacrifice like early health in order to get the first pick on the carousel rounds to get the items that you want. If you don't get more dogged and end up having a full item carousel.
Yeah, that's the worst.
So a lot of the standard play is you get to towards the end game at around stage 4-1, where you want to be at least level 7 and then push to level 8 at round 4-3 and kind of like finalize rounding out your comp there. And after that, it just comes on learning positioning. I think positioning difference is very huge. It's kind of like in actual League of Legends Summoner's Rift, like, oh, people like flame players and say, oh, jungle diff. Like, it's kind of like that, because like if you have like your main damage source like in the middle of nowhere and like an assassin jumps on it, it's gonna die and you're gonna lose.
Right.
So I think my personal 3 tips is to always play your strongest board. Make sure you're econing, but know when to break econ to stabilize. Because if you just keep econing and not put out like a strong board, you're just gonna drop your health and you're gonna finish last.
That's something I have to get better at, honestly, is like I'll just like a little bit, like I'll roll my extra gold into experience every round, and like I stay the same, and I don't, I lose like 4 rounds in a row, and then like I'm down to 30 health out of nowhere, and I didn't really press my advantage or anything, so I have to get better at that.
And one more major thing I forgot is scout, and scout.
What does that mean exactly?
Look, by scout I mean look at your opponent's boards and see like what units that they're playing. Because like if you want to run, like say you want to run e-girls and you're like, okay, I'm just gonna pick up every Star Guardian sorcerer that I see. But like if you're rolling for them and you're not hitting them, you could be like, it could be like, why am I not hitting my units? Like, am I just unlucky? Meanwhile, player 8 and player 6 have been hoarding Star Guardians like they're running a brothel. And, and so you really don't want to play a composition that's really contested,
right?
Because you're all just gonna fight for the units, and you guys are gonna go 7th, 8th holding hands.
Yeah, that's a big meme. I like that. When I actually got a first, it was either first or second earlier today. I can't remember. Because I did scout, and I'm trying to get better at that. Usually I'm like hard headed about it, and I try to lock in what I start with. But I picked up. I think it was trade. No. What's the star cluster where you have the 2-star units on the carousel? And So my first pick was a 2-star Zoe with a tier, and I was like, oh, e-girls, here we come, and I was ready for it, and I got nothing but like defensive items at that point, like a bunch of chain vests and giant's belts and thief's gauntlet and stuff like that. And this was like, I think after maybe the was it 3-3 carousel, like so after the second carousel, and I'm like, man, I'm getting nothing. Like, what is going on here? And so I was like, wait a second. And then I scouted, I checked all the other champions, and I was like, nobody's running mech pilot. And so then I just at that carousel, that 3-3 carousel, I picked up a 2-star Annie with an item on it, and I just went and committed to it, and I know I at least top 4'd. I don't remember if it was first or second, but I did get a victory in that game, and that was because I scouted, because I didn't just commit to what I was running. I saw the potential for a composition that was being uncontested, and I got a 3-star rumble out of it, and almost got a 3-star fizz. I got a second 2-star, so I didn't finish it off, but that's how free that comp was.
Yeah, always scout, always see what your opponent's doing, and try to be ahead of them. Try to stay a step ahead of the curve. It also helps in later stages, especially like if you're in the top 4 and you're trying to fight for a top 1, and then say someone's like lacking a damage item, and you see like an IE on the carousel, you kind of just grief them and just take it. So like that way they can't like spike and win.
Yeah, I've seen that. I was playing with my friend Jeff, and he knew I was playing Brawler Blaster, and he was playing Vanguard snipers, and he literally was right before me, and he took the red buff that I needed, and I was like, Jeff, what'd you do that for? And he was like, Jace. So he just put it on his Jace to spite me. I was so mad.
Yeah. So just, I guess it's kind of like pay attention to your surroundings, like when you're out and about in the world. Kind of just applies to the game as well. So like I said, play your strongest board, Econ's king, and scout. I guess tip number 4 would be learn meta compositions. They're meta for a reason. They're proven to work, and the high elo people just spam them to get to the top of the ladder.
Now, what do you think is the easiest comp for someone to play with or to try to learn the game? Because like I've been playing with my friend, and he's been doing pretty well by playing Vanguard snipers. So he's not getting a lot of firsts, but like if he pops off and gets like 3 or 4 3-stars, then he can. But he is getting a lot of top 4s with Vanguard snipers. So like, what would you recommend for someone trying to climb? Like, is it 6 rebel? Is it 6 sorcerer Riven or something like?
I think Astro snipers is probably a very like safe and easy one, because all you really need is your 4 snipers, 3 Astro units, and probably some more frontline. Brawler Blasters is a very, very safe and easy comp to get into to start out the game. I would kind of stray away from Cybers. I think Cybers is more of a high skill cap composition, where you have to know exactly when to pivot and when to like who your item holders are, who can you sell to replace them with a cyber unit later in the game. It's a lot of forward planning that you have to think of.
Right.
So I don't think that's a good. It's not a beginner friendly comp.
Yeah. That's why I play Cyber, because I'm advanced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm
I love Cyber.
intelligent. Right, Joe?
You got it, bro.
Okay, last question. Out of all the champions from 3.5, who is your favorite addition to TFT? Mine is Vayne, because I think Last Whisper IE Vayne is so much fun.
Oh, Gnar, for sure.
Ooh.
Hands down, Gnar. Because Gnar in set 1 was great, but Gnar with an astronaut costume is even better.
That's a very valid point. I give you credit on that one.
And plus, I think he's holding a meat in like his little icon picture. He's holding a
Is
meat
he?
that Bard spits out. Yeah.
Oh,
I thought it was a
wow.
pear, but then there's no pears in space.
You don't know that?
Well, yeah, obviously.
That's true. Astro pears.
So Dennis, you play some other competitive games also. You're pretty well regarded, in my opinion, in Heroes of the Storm. So you want to talk about that with us for a little bit?
Yeah, sure. I also play Heroes of the Storm on the side. It's not my main game anymore. It used to be back in 2016 when I first saw it on ESPN2.
Ooh.
Yeah, they were running Heroes of the Dorm, where it was just a collegiate tournament where schools had different teams competing for a full ride scholarship. Like, so the winning team would get, I can't remember if it was a year or like their entire college career paid for by Blizzard and Tespa.
Oh wow.
Which I thought was the dopest thing in the world. Like, I saw the game and I saw like the IPs that they were pulling these characters from. I'm like, oh, that's a Warcraft guy. Like, oh, that's a Starcraft guy. Yo, this game looks pretty lit. Like, let me look into it. And so I looked into it, and then I roped our friend Vince into it. And he's like, yeah, I've been playing since Alpha. I'm like, oh, sick. Like, teach me. Like, I want to start playing.
Shout outs to A Fishy.
Shout out to A
Vince.
Fishy. I miss him. I haven't talked to him in a few days.
He sucks.
He does not suck. He keeps me company when I work from home, but I'm not working from home that much.
But pre-pandemic, he would never hang out with me. Okay, and we were literally we were like, I believe, a 4-minute drive apart, and he would never want to hang out.
Who is this?
One of our brothers, Vince.
Oh,
That Dennis plays Heroes of the Storm with. He was just lazy, but I love him anyway.
Yeah, Vince hangs out on all the days I work from home. First thing I do when I wake up is open my computer, grab a cup of coffee, and then hop on Discord. Usually around anywhere between like 30 and 35 minutes. Vince would hop on call, and then our friend Pat and Matt would come on call, and then we all would just play TFT normals while I'm working.
Nice.
So back to, sorry, I got sidetracked. So back to Heroes of the Storm.
Vince does that to you. It's fine.
Yeah, so me and Vince started playing, and then I was like, like, I think I'm like okay at this game. Like, I kind of just want to, flex my competitive muscles, and like, all right, I hate ranked ladders for like MOBAs because I get ranked anxiety. Like, I don't want to get flamed for doing bad.
Same.
Like, I hate it. Like, that's why I don't mind TFT, because like if someone just like trash talks me, then I'm like, okay, bro, like, that's cute. And then so I joined this, I guess you can call it a for fun beer league, semi-pro league, whatever you want to call it, called the Nexus Gaming Series. And so I went in as a free agent. 3 people asked me to try out on their team, and I did, and I passed. I was like, hey, I have this friend that also plays, which is Vince. And they're like, yeah, sure, like, we can bring him on. And then we formed a team, won the whole thing in the 2nd season of it. We're on the 9th season now, and I think we're going to make playoffs. I know we have a match tomorrow and one on Thursday, but this season has been more different than the past ones, because I feel like the first 8 are kind of just, they all blend together except for like the championship season that stands out. So for this upcoming season, I did a role swap. I used to play tank. I used to just eat all the damage and make sure my teammates were safe.
I remember that. I remember Big Egg Roll tanking.
And then we did a for fun tournament in the off season where it was just for bragging rights amongst the divisions. And I was like, hey, for this tournament, I don't want to tank, because I don't want to get tired of the role. And then so I ended up playing DPS, and it turned out pretty well. And then so I talked with the captain, like, hey, like, is it cool if I like switch over to this? And he's like, Yeah, that's actually no problem. Like, we wanted to talk to you about that anyway. I'm like, oh, sick. It's a
Oh.
win-win for everyone. So there's been a lot of growing pains, but I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it again, which is good. And it also mimics what I play in League of Legends anyway. I'm an ADC main.
Nice.
So I have transferable, like, I don't want to say skills because I'm not good, but like transferable habits, mechanics.
Stop being so humble. You're great.
I'm not great. Transferable mechanics that I can carry in both games.
So, are there any other games that you like playing? Like, they don't have to be competitive, but like if they are, like, you know, or any battle royales that got you, or like any single player games you've been playing recently?
I've been playing Animal Crossing nonstop since the day after it came out. The day it came out, I picked it up and I couldn't play it because I already had a prior commitment to make fish tacos at someone's house. But pre-pandemic.
This game came out right before the pandemic started.
Yep. March 20th, to be exact. Because
March 20th, Dennis ate fish tacos.
Yeah, March 20th, I ate fish tacos. It's funny because the special edition Switch that came for Animal Crossing came out a week before the actual game did.
Yeah.
I do remember that happened.
So I had this beautiful, like,
you got
Animal Crossing. Yeah, I got it. I pre-ordered it the day I found out it was coming out. Because I've always wanted a Switch, and I was just like, all right, like, when am I ever gonna like buy it? Like, I just want one because I think the concept of it's very cool. Like, I can play on my TV and I can play it on the go. And then I saw Animal Crossing's coming out. I'm like, I loved the first Animal Crossing on, what was it, GameCube or N64?
Well, for us, GameCube, in Japan on 64, but yeah.
Yeah, so I played the living life out of that one on GameCube.
Nice. Yeah, I played that one on GameCube, but I didn't play it as much. The one on the Wii was where I sunk all my hours into City Folk.
Yeah, I didn't have that one. I never had a Wii. I do have New Leaf, or not New Leaf. What's the one on 3DS?
That's new. That's what it's called.
Yeah, New Leaf. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I have New Leaf. I played it for like 10 minutes and I just stopped. But then for some reason, New Horizons just like hooked me, and I can't stop playing. Like, it's not as bad as it was like when it first came out, when like everyone was playing and then just like visiting each other's islands and hitting each other with nets.
It's like each other with
now I'm just playing to maintain my island. So like, I'll dig my fossils. I'll find the glowy spot and plant 10,000 bells. And I just gotta make sure I keep most of my residents at all costs.
Right.
Have you been catching fish and the bugs?
Oh yeah, no, like the first day of the month, like that's when I'll do it. I'll just catch almost all of them.
Yeah.
So like, there's like nothing much I need to do later. Like, I'm trying to save up my Nook Miles again so I can get more Nook Miles tickets. Because my island name is Thotlantis, and I need all my villagers to be girls.
Listen, well, I'm sorry that I haven't been very much participating in this Teamfight Tactics talk, but I feel like Dennis will be appreciative of this. That while you guys are talking, I've been playing Animal Crossing. and I finally caught a hammerhead shark, and it is the last it is the last shark that I needed to catch, and I did it, and now I'm looking for the last beetle I need to catch.
I thought you were gonna say the Django Unchained meme when you said when you mentioned Thotlantis, to say at first you had my curiosity, now you have my attention.
Well,
hey guys,
and I wanted to give him my island. Dennis my island is called the Dump, and I am the craft man who lives on the Dump. And when you arrive at my island, you are greeted by a bunch of trash bags, 2 trash cans, and then 2 gated areas that are filled with like boots and tires and cans.
I can confirm, I've been there.
I love it.
Now, to transition from some of the games that you do play, Dennis, to some of the games you are going to play in the future, we're going to talk about the PlayStation 5 reveal, showcase, presentation, announcement, whatever you want to call it, Twitch video that There's basically how over 1 million people were watching on Twitch, watching Sony's press conference, which is, you know, pretty awesome to see, like, the gaming community come together like it was E3. Funnily enough, the presentation last week actually would have fallen on what would have been the final day of E3 this year, if there obviously was an E3. So kind of sounded like some like ironic moment that the company that left E3 essentially gave everybody an E3 this year with their with their presentation. But let's start. So Joe, let's start with you. Initially, that whole hour-long press conference, what stood out to you the most about the PlayStation 5 reveal?
I'm gonna have to like what's like
what's your takeaway? Anything.
The game stood out the most to me. I also just didn't very much like the fact that in between showing the games, there was just the PlayStation, like it felt like it was a PlayStation like screensaver that's going to be on the PlayStation 5 that will like pop up when you're not active on it. Like,
oh, those beads that spelled out like X, circle,
square,
triangle.
that, like, sometimes it was just like a pitch black screen or white screen, and then all of a sudden like shifts, the screens start, or the parts of the screen start shifting, and it would like reveal blue, and it would spell out like Sony, or it would be like it would have like the what is it, cross, triangle, circle, and square and stuff like that. So it was, that's the part I didn't like, was the weird like transitions they would use between showcasing the game. I think it's very interesting that they're going to have a purely digital version.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, I just find that very. I don't know. I don't.
Yeah, we'll get into that because I have words.
Okay. I think the design to the PlayStation 5 looks very sleek and very interesting. It's very different to the Xbox, which is kind of just basically sticking with
a brick.
It's a computer tower that you buy that's not special.
Right. Refrigerator.
The controller looks so like we have known the Xbox controller for a very long time. It made its biggest change when it went from the Xbox to the Xbox 360, and it's pretty much stayed the same since.
Right.
There's been slight changes of making it more making it smaller, but it's pretty much been the same. And for some reason, I am more intrigued by this PlayStation controller than I am by anything else about this whole console, because it just looks very sleek, and the fact that it has a built-in microphone in the controller is like one of the most interesting things to me, because I want to know how loud them joysticks going to be sounding when you play in a game.
Clack, 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 clack.
Yeah, I mean, because like you can hear that when you. I hear that because one of my friends in my other Discord uses a controller when he's playing on his PC, and I hear that through Discord. So I can't imagine what it's going to sound like when it's attached to the object that you're like pulling the sound from. But other than that, I think the controller looks really cool. The system looks really cool. The games that they had showcased were very good. There are at least 5 that I can name off the top of my head that I'm excited for. It was a very interesting kind of thing to do. There was not a lot of talking about the actual PlayStation itself. We still don't have a price point. Unfortunately, I do hear rumors of it actually being somewhat reasonably priced at like $600, $700, depending on which one you get.
That's reasonable?
It's better than what the $800 to $900 range was. I think it's a little bit more reasonable.
True.
Yeah, that's a lot more reasonable.
Yeah, I think it might be. I think it was $500 and $600, depending on which one you get. It's either going to be $500 or $600. I think that they're going to go. My idea was, or maybe they're going to be the exact same price, because my thought is that I feel like the digital one is going to be more expensive due to the fact that it needs to have more storage capacity to hold more games.
Yeah, but it doesn't need the disc, so it costs less to make, right? So maybe. Then they can sell it for less because it costs less to make.
Well, they wouldn't. Yeah, maybe. And that was what my other friend said when I was talking to him about it. They think that the one with the disc drive is going to be more expensive due to the fact that it's going to be like an 8K HD disc that plays Blu-rays and stuff. So that's
Ultra Blu-ray HD, whatever.
So that one's going to cost more money because of the technology. But or maybe they're going to be the exact same price point because they both have different things that they need. Like, I believe that I sent a photo to you guys that compares both the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5, where the PlayStation has a GPU that runs at 2 teraflops, like lower than the Xbox, and it has about like 175 gigabytes less storage than the Xbox at the current moment.
Ooh. Teraflops. Now you're speaking my language.
Teraflops. But other than that, it pretty much the exact same thing. I will say though, the Xbox One or the Xbox Series X does sound a little bit better due to the fact that you can play all Xbox One games, and selected Xbox 360 and original Xbox games.
Yeah, and apparently Xbox One games are supposed to be re-optimized for Xbox Series X, apparently. So they're not going to do the Sony thing where Sony's going to release The Last of Us 2 right now, and then 2 months into the PS5's cycle, they're going to make The Last of Us 2 remastered like they did with the original one, and all that stuff. You don't need to do that with Xbox because it's going to be re-optimized for the new system, so you're saving money that way.
True, but then in the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, you could play all PlayStation 4 games and optimize PlayStation 4 Pro titles, which is interesting. But yeah, with that said, I don't know. I feel like I'm still leaning towards the PlayStation rather than the Xbox at this point, because Xbox is kind of pulling themselves up by their bootstraps at this point, and they're like, hey, every game that we make now, we're also going to make it for the computer. So there you go. And I'm like, all right, if you're going to do that, then I'm not going to buy your system because I already bought a computer.
Right. Yeah, literally, I was talking with friends, and the only reason I would ever consider buying an Xbox Series X, because I've pretty firmly planted myself on the Sony side this last generation, is if Halo Infinite is not going to be PC compatible and you can only play it on Xbox Series X. That'd be the only reason I would consider buying that console. But if I can buy it and through the Microsoft Store on my PC or whatever, I'm just going to buy it on there.
Exactly. Oh, well, Joe Brown, here you go. Halo Infinite will definitely be on PC. Yes. The reveal trailer confirmed that Microsoft has already told us that the next Halo game is coming to PC.
Oh,
thank God.
Thank God. Save me $900 or whatever. Well, because I was only worried because when I installed my new PC and everything and did the Microsoft Store, Halo 5 is not on PC. So that's why I was concerned, because the Master Chief Collection is, but Halo 5 isn't.
Here is the thing, Joe Brown. Halo, I believe, is on Steam now.
What?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
is that allowed?
What they're doing is they have, I believe they're calling it the Master Chief Collection, but they are releasing every game on it,
including Halo 5.
Ooh, wait, no, it stops at Halo 4.
Right, that's what I'm saying, is that Halo 5 wasn't on PC, so that was my only concern. But since you just let that, that is good news, and now I can just get a PS5.
So as of right now, the Halo Master Chief Collection includes 6 great Halo experiences: Halo Reach, Halo Combat Evolved, Halo 2 Anniversary, currently playable. The remaining experiences will be available later in 2020. Blah, blah, blah. So, later on this year, if we make it through the rest of this year, Halo 3 will come out, Halo 3 ODST will come out, and Halo 4 will come out. So if you buy the Master Chief Collection for $40, you get all of those games as they come out, or you can buy them separately. off of this page. So I have a feeling that Halo 5 might come to PC. There might be a reason why it's not. It's spelled help instead of Halo.
Hulp. Great classic Western gaming franchise, Hulp. Revolutionized shooters.
But I really just don't want to traverse the Microsoft store. Like,
It's
I'm just
very
not
confusing.
a big fan of it. Like,
yeah.
The other, like, a couple weeks ago, I tried to download Phantasy Star Online 2.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, it's not through Steam. It's through the Microsoft Store, and the game never opened up for me.
Oh wow.
Have you guys downloaded the new Xbox app from the Microsoft Store?
Like on my mobile phone?
No, on your computer.
No.
There was a new.
Maybe. I mean, my computer's only like 3 weeks old, so maybe.
Well, if you guys want to look into it, there's a new app on it that you can download. That's in It's in the beta because they're getting ready for everything.
Yep. Now that you say beta, I do have it.
You might have the older one because you have to physically go in and download it.
We'll see.
Yeah. So essentially, it pretty much looks like any type. It looks like any type of like gaming client now. It's like Steam, but for Xbox. Like, it has its own store. It has a social aspect. It has like you a place to go buy your Game Pass. You can like start not Microsoft. You can start like Xbox parties on it. Like right now, I'm looking. I can like search for a game. Like, give me a game to look up. Like Halo 5. I probably can't look it up. Yeah, Halo 5.
Give me a game, any game except for this game.
Like Halo 2. I can click on Halo 2 and I can purchase it right now off of this app and play it on my computer.
I have to look at that then and see if I have the right version. But for now, let's steer the conversation back. So, Dennis, what are some games or things that stood out to you with the PS5? Like you're definitely leaning in that direction instead of Xbox.
Oh yeah, I'm a PlayStation stan through and through, except for the one console. I picked up 360 over PS3 because a lot of my friends in high school had Xbox 360s, and so I wanted to play like COD with them and all that fun stuff. So that was my only outlier. But I've had the original PlayStation 2. I have my PS4, and I will more than likely continue on this PlayStation train. I'm super excited for how sports games are going to look because I saw the 2K21 trailer and it looked phenomenal. Like, I thought I was actually like watching Zion on TV. But to find out it was a game and all those sweat beads look really real, like I'm inclined to get it.
I'm laughing because, like, you know the meme of Jordan Peele in Key and Peele where he's sweating on the couch, and they're like sports games in 2020, and it was just him sweating for like the whole time.
Yeah, that's my favorite meme to use, like, after I'm done working out, and like I'll send a Snapchat to like a couple friends and be like, when your girl asks you to look through your phone and you're just constantly sweating.
Yeah. It's so funny because it's like, you know, like computer games always talk about like the FPS and like, oh, look at all these pixels, and like that's like the meme you can make of it. But like sports games are always like, look at this sweat. Like they think all we care about is sweat in sport games.
Isn't that what you guys care about when you play sports games?
Obviously.
I don't care about how well the basketball goes into the hoop. I just care about my players sweating like a...
Yeah, I better see Shaq looking like he just got out of a pool. That's all I need.
Shaq better be in the shower in this game. Like, waist up in the shower. I want to see it.
Yeah, like there's a bunch of Pringles cans just like going from his waist to the floor. It makes me feel small as a human being. But I think, aside from sports games on the PS5, definitely Horizon Zero Dawn, the sequel.
Oh yeah,
is something I'm looking forward to.
The sequel?
No, Horizon Forbidden West.
Forbidden West. Sorry.
It says Horizon 2 Forbidden West. Don't forget the 2 that's like small in the middle of it.
Not on GameSpot. It doesn't say 2.
Horizon Too Fast, Too Furious.
Horizon 2. Don't forget
Too
the
Fast, Too Forbidden West.
Let's see. There's that. Like, not you guys mentioned it earlier about The Last of Us 2 coming out like for PS4 in 4 days, and then probably gonna do the remastered one for PS5. Like, I'm kind of leaning towards holding off, but I really just want to jump back into that story.
No, dude, you can't take the risk of getting spoiled. That's why I'm playing it immediately and just dedicating my life to getting it done because I don't want to get spoiled.
You know what? You're right. That's probably what I'm gonna do. But
you waited 7 years for this sequel, and then some troll on the internet's gonna tell you what happened.
Oh yeah, that happened for Endgame. Some person on the internet just in a random comment, unrelated comment section on like Bleacher Report, spoiled the ending of Endgame for me.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
That's horrible. Here, Joseph, look at this picture.
Oh god.
It says Horizon, and then in the middle there's 2 dashes for the 2 Forbidden West.
You are right. There are 2 little Roman numeral 2.
Plus it says Horizon 2 colon Forbidden West. Eat it.
I don't see no colon. I see 2 dashes.
Well, when you look at the name right now.
Okay, whatever. Anyway,
no, except tell me that you're wrong.
Listen, all I said was GameSpot does not have Horizon 2. It says Horizon Forbidden West. That's all I said.
It's Horizon 2. It's Horizon 2.
But obviously, I'm just saying it didn't have Horizon 2 Electric Boogaloo in the title. That's all I'm saying.
And what I'm saying is I already pre-ordered a collector's edition of Last of Us 2 that's coming out on Friday, so I'm gonna go get it.
Oh my god, do they still have those to pre-order?
Oh god, I didn't think of that.
Because so literally, I didn't know what to do with Last of Us. Like, do I just buy it digitally so I can play it at midnight, or like do I wait? Like do I get it from Best Buy or something? Because like you still I know businesses are open, but they're like kinda open right now, so I can't really just like walk around Best Buy. Like I have to buy the item online and then they give it to me when I park my car.
Oh, so, that's why I'm going to Walmart.
Fair enough. Do
they have like an $80 collector's edition, or did you spend like a $200 one?
They have a $230 one. They have a $170 one, and then they have like the one like the special edition. I don't know what comes in the special edition. Let me look.
Now, I think Joe, you should be pretty proud of me. Because we have made it this long into the podcast, and I have not so much as made a peep about Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Oh, no, I'm waiting to talk about it with you because I'm pumped about it.
Oh, my God. I literally, so it started with Grand Theft Auto, which I think is a pretty poor start to it. Because Grand Theft Auto is literally now Skyrim. Like, anyone who makes fun of Skyrim, you should also make fun of Grand Theft Auto being on 85 things. Because that is a 360 PS3 game. And it's the lead of the PS5 reveal is Grand Theft Auto 5. Are you kidding me? Like, that was so frustrating. But right after that, my hopes immediately went up with Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Joe, I don't think that was a 360 game.
What?
No, definitely PS4. I got it on.
It was a PS4 and a Xbox One, not a 360.
What? September 17th, 2013.
Isn't that also when the Xbox One was out?
November.
Okay.
We're putting this to a halt right now. We're putting the show to a halt.
We had to put a show to the halt to make sure you're right, but when I proved you wrong, we had to skip over real quick.
You proved GameSpot wrong, okay?
I proved you wrong because you said it was wrong.
Yeah, it released on 360 and PS3, so I am correct. Anywho.
That sounds really...
All right. You're right. My copy was on 360.
Thank you. Yeah, mine was on 360.
I was like, I never had an Xbox One. Why do I remember the case being green?
Yeah. So there seemed to be some unnecessary confusion around the Miles Morales game, Joe, because some outlets were reporting that it was an expansion on a Spider-Man 1 remaster, which didn't make any sense. Like, I thought very clearly, like, when I watched that, it was like, oh, it's been 2 years. It's probably not going to be like a 35 hour experience, but it'll still be like a 15 to 20 hour experience as like a full story where you play as Miles. And they're like, oh, it's this expansion where you have to replay the first game and everything, then you unlock it and play it. And it was like, what? Like, just use your brain, people. It's a side story like Uncharted Lost Legacy, or what was it? The what's that other PlayStation series? They had a like Lost Light or whatever, where it was the girl.
Last of Us. Was it Last of Us?
No. I forget. It's like he has like superpowers. He's like he like has the electricity or whatever.
Infamous.
Infamous. Like, they had a side story game. Like, I thought it was very clear, but you know, all these news outlets tried to muddy up the Miles stories. But like, obviously, that's what I'm most excited for.
It was only IGN. They were the one who reported it.
No, but then a lot of people were picking it up on Twitter. Is what I'm saying. It was like,
a lot of people were circulating it, and then who makes it? Is it Insomniac?
Yeah.
People were like, how can you do this? And they're like, it's a full title. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I saw. Did you see the one? Did you see the one where one of the developers tweeted like, Spider-Man Miles Morales is a complete separate game from the first one or whatever, and somebody replied to it as like, sources say different, and then he replied, I'm working on the game.
I think my favorite one was someone. That one's pretty funny, actually. But another one I saw was, it said, someone has said, is this going to be an expansion, or is this like a full game? And then Insomniac replied, this is going to be a full game. And someone replied to Insomniac saying, source. And then someone replied to that person going, really? You're going to ask for source from the
literally us,
the developer?
Oh man, yeah. So like, we don't know a lot about Spider-Man game. It takes place in snowy times in winter in New York City, so it makes sense.
It's gonna be so cool.
I think it's gonna be really cool to see New York in the snow, and it also thematic, because if you buy it in November or December when it comes out, like, it could potentially be snowing in your area of the country.
Is that when it comes out? It comes out this year in November.
So it comes out 2020. That's what the trailer said, and like, if the console is going to come out in November, like, why would you think this game's going to come out like mid-December or something? I feel like it should be a launch title. You know what I mean?
I think it's going to be a launch title.
I think it is going to be a launch title.
How many other games were launch titles for this?
That I do not know. Well, you could play GTA 5 if you want.
I don't want to. Oh, by the way, the Epic Game Store was giving away GTA 5 for free, by the way.
Nice.
It's literally everywhere.
Yeah.
It's literally everywhere. I got it for free, so.
It is the new Skyrim. So just as I'm looking at this GameSpot article, like, just other games that caught my eye.
I want to tell you some games that caught my eye.
Okay, go ahead.
This isn't an exclusive to PlayStation 4, but it's the first we saw of it. It was like the world premiere of it was Resident Evil Village. So I saw it. I was pumped about it. I'm excited. I love this game.
I called that when it first started. I was like, wait, this kind of looks like the first person Resident Evil game. And then it like went on. I was like, oh, Resident Evil! Oh my god!
It's a mix between it. From what it seems like, it's a mix between 7 and 4, and it's so interesting to just see like Chris killing Ethan's wife from the 7th game. Chris Redfield's killing Ethan's wife. What's happening? What's the story here? You know, it's some like crazy crap that he has to deal with. Like, there's a reason he's killing Ethan's wife in this game. Like,
I would hope he has a reason.
Definitely this is happening, because like they're making it build the whole thing of that trailer was they're building it up to make Chris to be the bad guy, and it's like he's not. This man has been working with like the whole world to try to save the whole world like constantly. And like I'm really hoping they're bringing back Wesker. Like they're definitely bringing that boy back. For anybody who doesn't know what I'm talking about, I'm sorry, but they're definitely bringing that boy back.
No, I appreciate the passion. Makes me excited.
My God. Well, there's another game that I saw that I was like super pumped about.
So like the best part about this presentation is that they had games for literally every type of gamer out there. Like when I went back and watched the Microsoft press conference from a month ago when they revealed the Xbox Series X or whatever, and I didn't even watch it live. That's what I'm saying. Like I went after because the PS5's reveal was so good. I was like, you know, I guess out of fairness, I should watch the Xbox one. And it was literally like the games they showed. It was like, here's this horror game with good graphics. Here's this survival game with good graphics. Here's this war, you know, bloody killing game with good graphics. It was just like the same thing showing off that they looked good or like looked creepy or whatever. But like you had platformers, you had platforms with Sackboy, you had battle royales with that cool car battle royale game, which looked awesome. Destruction All Stars. You had action games. You had what I think was an adventure game in Kenna, Bridge of Spirits, which was my favorite game from that presentation. You had the scary games for the scaredy boys like Joe, like with Resident Evil. And you had like the hardcore games with the Demon Souls remaster. Like this presentation, literally anybody could have walked away with at least one game that they wanted to play on the PS5.
What? Yeah, like there were so many good games. Like, oh my God, there was this other game. It was called The Little Devil Inside. That looks really fun. Did you see that? It looks really cool.
I mean, I'm looking at it right now, but I'm trying. I don't really remember it when it.
I had to go back and watch it again because of all the other things that took place. Now I'm interested to see what was on the Xbox presentation.
It was pretty bad, dude. Like I like that they had memes. The guy who led the presentation, it was like a Zoom call, and he had the Xbox Series X as a microwave or as a fridge in his background. So like, and he was like, "Oh, our refrigerator back there." Like, so they were played on the memes and stuff. But I think half of the presentation was Assassin's Creed Valkyrie. Like I'm pretty sure in runtime, almost half of the whole thing was one game, and that kind of got panned by not actually showing gameplay. But yeah, I think Sony just absolutely crushed this event. And there's if there was anybody on the fence still between this, and the only difference was like, if Halo is not going to be on PC, I think this pretty easily puts Sony in the lead and say like, I'll just buy Halo on the PC and then I'll buy a PS5 for everything else.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Now the one thing, just as we wrap it up here, I'm really not a fan of the two separate consoles. The idea of it. Now, obviously, this is in a consumer's market. You can do whatever you want. You can feel. I don't think it's very healthy for consumers to have that digital version. One, because of the MSRP ratings from the different stores. So like, let's say a PS5 is $500, and then you sell your digital version for $300. That's a drastically lower cost to it. So the companies, the Walmarts and GameStops and Best Buys, which whatever, the big companies anyway, so we shouldn't have to care about them, but they will be getting less money because people are going to buy the cheaper version of it. And especially if you buy that digital version, you will never be able to go to Walmart again to buy another video game. So they're losing potential I'll just say money in the future, because I can't think of the correct way to put it. And then for any consumer who does want to buy the digital version because, I don't like the clutter and I don't want the boxes, they're worthless anyway, blah, 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 you just be aware that if you buy the digital PS5, you are locking yourself as a consumer into Sony's prices, because you cannot take part in Amazon deals to buy a physical copy. You can't buy it at Black Friday at Walmart or Best Buy. Like, the only time you're gonna get a game on sale is when Sony tells you it's on sale and it's like $5 off. So like, just be aware that you are limiting your options if you buy the digital only version.
Well, you can buy codes for games now. They usually sell them too.
But like, not at Walmart. Not
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they do. At Walmart.
Just the code that's gonna have the same discount.
No, there's gonna be no discounts. Like
right,
you said,
that's what I'm saying. Like, if you go on Black Friday, like if you wanted to buy the new game, they will give you physical copies that are on sale. Like, digital codes are not going to be on sale, is what I'm saying.
Oh, I gotcha. I mean, you're right. You're right.
So
I just prefer
because a lot of
physical.
people are excited about it and they want to go all digital and whatever and save the trees. I don't think video games are doing that as much as other industries are badly for the trees. But like, just be prepared that you are limiting your options as a consumer if you buy the digital only version of the PS5. That was my only warning message I wanted to get out there.
Yeah, and plus, if you buy physical copies, you can get some return on investment. If you like, say you beat the game, like beat a brand new game really quick, you can get like a good chunk of money back from GameStop. Even though I absolutely despise GameStop and their business practice, but like, you can at least get something back from it and not have to rely on like a Facebook Marketplace or like an eBay,
right?
Just to like kind of scrape some money back.
Yeah. So I'm very excited to see what the price cost is. Like, I was upset at the time, but I think it makes sense because Microsoft also didn't reveal their price in their press conference, or their presentation, I should say. It wasn't a conference. So I guess it was smart of Sony, because they're like playing chicken with Microsoft of who's going to reveal it first, and then maybe the other team can like lowball the other one and sell it for like $50 cheaper or something. But like, you know, we're running out. We got what, like like 5 or 6 months at this point. Like, you're gonna have to tell us how much it costs eventually.
Yeah, for real. Like, if you want me to buy your game, you want me to buy your system, you gotta give me some time to buy your system.
Yeah, entice me.
Yeah.
If you guys had to guess, what would your guesses be for the full version of the PS5 router? Or book binder. That was or the Kyber Corp.
Yeah, I love that one.
So, what's your full price of that, and what do you expect the price of the digital version to be?
I'm hoping for a $600 price. That's what I'm hoping. For like the one with the disc drive. I'm hoping for that.
Now, what do you think digital will be?
500. I think it'll be like $100, but it could be same price.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the ballpark of anywhere between $399 and $599, because I feel like they're not gonna use a flat number. They're gonna use like that 99, but in all actuality, it is. Because for some reason, like as a consumer, I see like $400. I'm like, that's like, it's a bit much. But then I see $399. I'm like, I bet. Like, let me get this.
Wait, was anyone else like this as a kid, or was that just dumb? Where like, when you'd see those commercials to like buy random things, and it's like, you know, $3.99, like you thought it was $4 because you didn't understand it, or was that just dumb?
I thought you were talking about those infomercials that are like, oh yeah, like 5 easy payments of $12.97.
Oh yeah, those are like the health nutritional facts of infomercials, where it's like
the Jack LaLanne power juicer.
Yeah. My guess, I think it's probably going to be 500 and 400. Like, didn't the PS3 launch at like, or initially was going to launch at like 600, and then they got a lot of backlash for it, so they lowered it to 500.
I do remember reading about that.
Right. Yeah. So I think I think at this point in our in the gaming marketplace, I don't think they can really justify 600, especially since these companies pretty much know that the actual making of the console costs more than the selling of it. So you start out at negative, and then you make money off of the accessories and the games and headsets and was it controllers and things. So like they intentionally lose money at first to have a reasonable price so that they can make more money on the back end. So I would be very surprised if it's $600. So my guess would be $500 and $400 for the digital.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. Be interesting to know. People are claiming that people like on Reddit are saying that it's going to be like $800.
I don't think so. I mean, who's going to buy it at $800? I don't know.
I'm hoping it's not. Like, same thing with the Xbox. People were speculating whether or not the Xbox.
Well, people like to speculate a lot of things.
But like these systems are now becoming like computers. They're always computers, but they're becoming like very high functioning computers. Like I believe the graphics card that they have in there is better than most graphics card people have in their computer right now, depending on when you bought your computer.
I was just saying, not me.
I was gonna say it might be better than yours, Mr. Brown.
It might be. I don't know any of the numbers. I couldn't tell you what I have.
No, it's on par with mine.
Yeah, but like I don't know, you still have to make it reasonable enough of a price so that people will, because it can't be an alternate to having a PC. So like just because it's as powerful as a PC, like it doesn't run Microsoft Word or anything. Like so you still need an actual PC. So they can't. I don't think they can really justify pricing it in the points that the PCs get to, like because it's missing some fundamental. There ain't no calculator on a PS5, you know.
You don't know that. There could be.
There's no Minesweeper on PS5.
You don't know that, bro.
Hey, don't knock Minesweeper. I love Minesweeper.
I've never won a game of Minesweeper in my entire life.
It's because you don't think with your brain.
Yeah.
I was
Big
gonna
brain
say
game.
I was gonna say that was a fun fact about me, but it's a sad fact actually.
Well, no, you usually think with your brain, but sometimes you don't. You think with your hands.
No, I was okay. I was saying the Minesweeper part was the fun fact, not the brain part.
Okay.
Joe trying to get back on the Bang Bros conversation. Anyway, we're gonna end it here. Thank you so much, Dennis, for joining us on this episode of Cup of Joe's. It's been an absolute blast.
Oh, it was a pleasure. Thank you guys for having me on.
It was fun having you in.
So, in case anyone's getting stomped by Mech Infiltrator and TFT, and it's a was it level 9 booty mage or whatever?
Yeah, that's me. It's me, your boy.
That's Dennis stomping you there. You're getting stomped by level 9 booty mage. Hopefully, we're gonna try to get back to a more consistent uploading schedule. There's a lot of gaming news coming around and actual games being released, like Last of Us Part 2. So we'll keep you updated on there. Make sure to give us a subscribe here on YouTube. And any parting thoughts, Joe? Why don't you take us home?
Well, everybody, it's been great having you again. Another great episode, Cup of Joe's. Y'all gotta get out of here so I can finish watching all the trailers that came out for the Xbox presentation that I didn't watch a month ago. So thanks for joining us, and see you next time. I'm gonna watch these trailers. Bye, everybody.